You are listening to Radio Long Island City, recorded at our studios near Hell Gate, 9 kilometers north of the Harbor Hill Moraine. And now, the Observatory. The Observatory, Friday the 17th of April, 2026. It is 28 days after the spring equinox. It is 65 days before the summer solstice. And it is just 5 days before Earth Day arrives. The sun rises today at 6:14 a.m. Solar noon takes place today at 12:55 p.m. The sun sets today at 7:37 p.m. Civil twilight ends at 8:06 p.m. and nautical twilight ends at 8:40 p.m. The length of daytime today is 2 minutes 33 seconds longer than yesterday. The new moon arrives today at 7:54 a.m. and we begin lunation 1278. The moon rises today at 5:58 a.m. and then it sets at 8:18 p.m. The first quarter will arrive on Thursday, the 23rd of April. These are the predicted tides today for Horns Hook. In the wee hours, low tide, 4:43 a.m., minus 9 centimeters. In the morning, high tide, 10:59 a.m., 1 meter 62. In the afternoon, low tide, 4:52 p.m., 3 centimeters. At night, high tide, 11:16 p.m., 1 meter 92. In our shared realm of plants and animals, cherry trees come in waves. The earliest bloomers have wrapped things up, dropped their flowers, and started to fully leaf out. But they've passed the baton to the kanzan cherries, which have just flowered. These trees have darker blooms, a rich, deep pink, and the flowers themselves are bigger, with multiple layers of serrated petals. You can see them scattered across the neighborhood. A particularly fine row of kanzans stands in front of the Aliada restaurant on Broadway and 30th Street. The kanzans come in many shapes. Some have straight trunks, but many have richly contorted trunks, sculptural and strong. Above, the secondary branches that bear the flowers tend to be quite straight, spangled with blooms, just like you see in Japanese prints and paintings. Commemorations. On this day in 1961, 1,400 Cuban exile paramilitaries, trained by the CIA, landed at the Bay of Pigs in Cuba in an attempt to overthrow Fidel Castro's new communist government. The invasion had been planned under the Eisenhower administration. Although the new president, John F. Kennedy, had given the go-ahead for the mission, he refused to commit American forces to the effort. The enterprise unraveled and the invasion failed. Kennedy never fully trusted the Joint Chiefs or the CIA again, and it pushed Cuba even more firmly into the Soviet realm of influence. On this day in 1964, Shea Stadium opened in Flushing Meadows. The New York Mets played their first game in their new home and lost 4-3 to the Pittsburgh Pirates. The stadium opened just 5 days before the 1964-65 New York World's Fair, which happened across the street. On this day in 1969, Alexander Dubček, the chairman of the Communist Party of Czechoslovakia, was deposed. He had tried to open up his country, proposing what he called socialism with a human face, loosening restrictions on the media, speech, and travel, and decentralizing the economy. The Soviets were having none of this, and Warsaw Pact forces invaded the country. Dubček remained in power for several months until his fall. He ended up in internal exile, a non-person in communist Czechoslovakia. On this day in 2015, a woman on a beach in Amrum, Germany, discovered a message in a bottle washed up on the shore. It had been released into the North Sea by the United Kingdom Marine Biological Association in 1905. It was intended to study ocean currents. It contained a postcard that promised a 1 shilling reward to anyone who found it. When she announced her unusual find, she was sent an old English shilling by the Marine Biological Association. We made a mistake. Yesterday we reported the 16th of April as the day Giovanni Verrazzano reached New York Harbor in 1524. Today is the actual anniversary. We apologize for the error. Because this is radio, you will have to use your imagination to picture our research department standing in a row, hanging their heads in shame. As Earth Day approaches, we leave you with this thought. When Earth Day was first celebrated in 1970, the slogan, "Reduce, Reuse, Recycle," became an important rallying cry. As times have changed, perhaps we have lost the awareness that environmentalism in the 1970s included a strong critique of consumer culture. And so do we still aim to reduce our consumption? Or do we think we can have it all, having an endless procession of delivery boxes arriving day and night, and still address the health of the planet and its ecosystems? And that is the Observatory, Friday the 17th of April, 2026.